Hello everybody. Boy, it is super cold where I live today. It is like 9 degrees out there, and I have a full day of filming scheduled today to bring you all the books I've been reading recently, which has been a ton. I feel like September of 2019 was chock full of books. Oh my gosh. I was reading and reading and reading and filming and filming and filming, and I feel like January has been the same. It's an amazing time to be a reader. I always say that, and I am lucky enough to have some amazing author friends and get introduced to some new author friends, and it's just a great time to be a reader. Today's video is about one of those new authors to me. The author is Leigh, and her book is 4-Day Prince Charming. I asked her actually before I started filming the video if she wanted me to use her first name or if she just wanted me to refer to her as Kay. And so she actually gave me the approval to go ahead and use her first name, which is Kaylee. Leigh. Her book is 4-Day Prince Charming. This is her first book. This is the first book I've read of hers. I know she has another one coming in the same world here. And then she also is a poet and has a book published on Amazon that's her poetry. Wow! I have to tell you that in preparing for the video, I went and got a free sample of that book, which is called Bittersweet Musings. I think that's it. I'll put a link below in the description box to that book as well. If you're into poetry, I'm into poetry. I love reading poetry. I just don't read it very often. I don't know why. I need to read more of it because, like I said, in preparing for the video, I went and got a free sample and read through it just so I could get a feel for what it was all about and could talk about it as well. And oh my gosh, I have to say, and I get a little teary, I got 20 pages in the free sample. Oh my gosh, stop it. And it's a lot about her as a mom. And I know if you read her bio, you'll see this as well. She's a mom and she has, I think, 2 children. And I read those poems and I was just like, oh my gosh. Knowing that about her kind of lended itself into how I felt about 4-Day Prince Charming. I adored this book. This book was really sweet, and then it kind of takes this sexy turn, but there's something so lovable, likable, and grounding about the 2 main characters and the story that I just connected to immediately. The main characters are Lexi and Chandler. Lexi is I think like 30-ish, 33 actually, single mom. She has a son, Marcus. I have a love for the name Marcus. I have talked about that a little bit before, so automatically I was gonna adore this little boy of hers. He was the sweetest. Oh God, he was a really sweet little boy. There's 3 kids, actually 4 kids in this book. There's Lexi's son, Marcus, and then Lexi actually is helping take care of her sister's children. She has twin girls. They're a little bit younger than Marcus. Monroe and can't remember the other one's name right now. And then there's another little boy, Billy, that goes to school with them, and they know. And Chandler knows. The children in this book, she wrote them like sweet, yummy little kids, innocent and yet caring and understanding and wise about life. And they were adorable. I love them. So getting back to Lexi. Lexi is trying to do it all. She is a teacher. She, like I said, is helping to take care of her daughters, or her sister's 2 daughters. We get a little bit about that relationship. We know that her daughter is I keep saying daughter. Her sister. Her sister is in rehab, so she has taken on the responsibility of her sister's daughters, her nieces, and she's just trying her best. We get a little bit that they grew up in the foster care system, and after being kind of pushed around to different families, not good situations, she's the older sister, the quintessential older sister, the nurturer, the one that took care of her younger sister Berkeley, all their lives. Lexi's tired. Lexi, you can tell. Yeah, I identified with Lexi a lot. She's trying to do it all. She decides to take her son to his favorite action hero's new movie. He's got to go to the bathroom. Of course, he's going to go in the men's bathroom because Marcus is about 9 or 10 years old. She can't necessarily take him into the women's bathroom anymore. She's a little nervous about that. She's aware of her surroundings. Even though she herself is a very strong woman, there is this soft vulnerability about her, and you see that the way that Kaylee describes her, and you get that pretty quick. And he goes to the bathroom and she's waiting outside for him, and she looks up and she notices a man sitting kind of across the lobby of the theater, and they lock eyes for a second, and they kind of look at each other, and then she kind of looks away and keeps walking, and we find out pretty quickly that that's Chandler. He has rented the theater that they're in, that they're going to go see the movie in. He has rented that to bring a bunch of kids from a children's hospital that he volunteers for to see the movie. And how sweet is that, right? And then you're like, okay, what's that all about? And as it turns out, I hope I'm not giving it away because I don't like to give spoilers, but it turns out he's the action hero. He's the actor, and he does a lot, and he very much takes it upon himself through his own upbringing and having some experience with sick kids and how that affects the family and all that, to give back in a way that is important to him and that he hopes helps. And he wants to take care of the people that has affected, and who are in the same situation. Super endearing guy, by the way. And it turns out that that's when they see each other. And something that Chandler said that I knew, obviously this is where it's going, this is where it starts, is he says that they locked eyes and he looked at her. He recognized the grief in her eyes. So he knows when he looks at her. And he has a self-proclaimed kind of hero complex, which goes along with how he talks about wanting to help take care of people that are struggling, these sick kids and the families that are affected. And he's a nurturer as well. And I thought it was interesting that as I was thinking that to myself, that they're both nurturers, lo and behold, Kaylee wrote that. They're both nurturers. She physically wrote that on the page. She literally had those words on the pages. In that brief eyes, noticing each other moment, Chandler is awestruck by her. Not only does he recognize the grief he sees in her eyes, but he's awestruck by her beauty, her, kind of her aura, and I'm being called to her. How can I get to her? Through his connections, he's able to orchestrate a scenario where they meet literally and get to spend time together. And it is via a kind of a ruse. And it's something that he talks about, is that he has to tell her the truth. That she gets to take, I don't want to say too much, but she ends up being able to take a 4-day vacation. And she doesn't want to leave the kids with her parents. And she's like, oh my God. And there's this loss of control that she is fighting with because she's tired. And it was interesting, her dad said to her, something about an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup or something like that. And it was like, oh my gosh, yes. Have I heard that saying before? Do I completely understand that? Like I said, I really identified her as a mom, and with her as a mom, and being tired and trying to give to everybody and have everybody's lives be okay, and being the last person that you look at be yourself. And so Chandler sees this and plans this ruse a little bit where he can meet her, and yet she gets taken care of and away from her life for a couple of days, and her sister is encouraging her to go, and it's her sister that actually brings the title into the book, and she says, go meet a 4-day Prince Charming, you deserve it. And fast forward to later in the book where she actually meets Chandler, and she's like, wow, he's cute, and like he likes me and I like him, and maybe I should take my sister's advice and have a little fling while I'm on vacation. It's during those 4 days that's the meat of the story, and I loved them, their interactions. I wondered how deep I was going to be able to get with this book. I like a deep story. I know that sounds like, of course, everyone does, everyone wants to, but you know, I want something to really grasp onto, and I wasn't sure up until that point if I was going to get the deepness, or if it was just going to be kind of a fluffy, wonderful love story, kind of fairy tale-ish. And it's in their time together where I was able to really dig in and really couldn't put the book down, and loved them getting to know each other, and loved learning about them and their personalities, and I really felt like I got them. And during this short time away from her life, her everyday life, she was trying to live and trying to get back to who Lexi was, and not be who Lexi is every day in her life. Chandler is simply swoony. He's sweet, he's thoughtful, he's a nurturer, he's a protector, he's a giver. And yet he has this little bit of, you know, he's not a pushover, but yet he sees things in her that he knows he can address, kind of, and he can fill for her, I guess is the better way, like fill up a bucket for her. And there is a little bit of an age difference between them. There's 10 years. So he's 23 and she's 33. And they talk about that a little bit, and I thought it was kind of funny because then they talk about that her parents are like almost 50. And I was like, wait a minute, Kaylee, like, that's not that old. And I had to laugh at it a little bit because I was like, girl, you're not dead at 50. 4-Day Prince Charming for me was a quick read. I loved that I was able to read it in 2 days. The next book, and I can't remember what it's called. Oh, no, I can't remember. I don't want to misspeak. But it's about Berkeley, her sister. So I'm kind of anxious to read that. I didn't love, I was kind of a little like what's wrong? Like Berkeley just seems to not have her stuff together and relies on her big sister to kind of take care of everything. And even though that's the way life has panned out for them, I was like, girl, take care of your kids. Like, don't put it all on her, you know? And so I'm interested to see in the next book if Kaylee can change my mind about Berkeley. I would definitely recommend 4-Day Prince Charming. Thank you, Kaylee, so much for reaching out to me and asking me if I would be willing to take a chance and read your book. I loved your book. I would love to have everyone to follow me on social media. It's Kat Reads Romance on Facebook and Instagram. And also take a second to subscribe to my channel. You'll get notified when I upload a video. Next month, February 2020, is my 1-year anniversary. I am going to be doing a couple fun things. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.